Hi, my name is Lauren Bedrock, and I'll be presenting on my continuous quality improvement plan. I'll be going over the goals, specific aim, the tools I use to make the improvement, specifically the Plan, Do, Study, Act tool, the outcomes, and a self-reflection. The goal of my project is to eat only healthy, organic, home-cooked meals to improve health and increase energy. As a healthcare worker, it is important to me to be healthy in every aspect of my life, which inspired the goal of my quality improvement project. I used a Plan, Do, Study, Act cycle to achieve this goal. A specific aim is an important aspect in the improvement plan. The specific aim should use the SMART goal strategy. The SMART goal strategy is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. The specific aim of my project was to increase the consumption of organic, healthy food by eating home-cooked meals 5 times a week by setting aside 135 minutes each week to cook, or 45 minutes 3 times a week. 2 studies displayed here show that healthy eating patterns are linked to decreased risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and obesity, as well as a healthy BMI and normal body fat percentage. The PDSA cycle is a method in which small improvements can be made and evaluated for success before continuing the change. There are 4 phases in the PDSA cycle: Plan, Do, Study, and Act. In the plan phase, an opportunity for improvement is established and a test for change is identified. In the plan phase, I calculated how many minutes I cooked pre-intervention, which was 0 minutes. I felt fatigued with decreased motivation, which affected my performance at school and work. I also planned to include my spouse to help me cook because he is also health conscious and was willing to help me cook on days I didn't have time. My plan was to prepare meals prior to the beginning of my work week. The goal was to cook 135 minutes per week or 45 minutes 3 times a week. In the Do phase, the improvement is implemented. I prepared enough meals for my whole work week, which took me 45 minutes to prepare. On days that I worked, I did not cook at all, and on my off days, I dedicated more time to cooking. In week 1, I cooked 165 minutes. In the study phase, the change is analyzed and evaluated to check if adjustment to the plan needs to be made. In the study phase, I met my goal of cooking 135 minutes per week, but I found that this did not account for times outside of the 3 meals a day when I was hungry. I also made food in bulk, which led me to eat takeout food because I was bored with my food selection. In week 2, I decided to allow more time at the beginning of my week to cook a variety of food. In the Act phase, the improvement is implemented in its original or revised form. I implemented the new change and cooked 60 minutes the day before my work week. During week 2, I cooked 180 minutes after implementing the new change. I continued this cycle through week 3 because week 2 worked so well. I cooked for a longer period of time, but it did not interfere with other activities such as work and school. Overall, I felt healthier with increased energy. In week 3, I cooked 175 minutes with the same results as in week 2. The table shown here breaks down the number of minutes cooked each day, as well as the mean, range mean, upper control limit, and lower control limit. As shown here, the values are all within the upper and lower limits. This figure shows a scatter plot of the number of minutes cooked each day in order to compare the differences between each week. As you can see, I cooked the most at the beginning of my week, with very little cooking in the middle of my week that accounted for when I was working, and I cooked more towards the end of my week during my off days. The result of the CQI was an overall success. Week 1 showed improvement could be made to increase the amount of time allowed for cooking to enhance the variety of food. After adjustments to week 1, weeks 2 and 3 showed cooking times of 180 and 175 minutes per week, which resulted in consumption of all homemade organic food and 0 takeout food. The difference in eating habit and increase in physical stamina improved my overall health maintenance. The specific aim of my project was achieved without unintended consequences. I also was able to work out more because my physical stamina had increased. The CQI and PDSA method allowed me to make small changes in order to benefit my personal health and improve my day-to-day schedule. One suggestion for future improvement would be to cook more often on days that I did not work, so I would not have to prepare for such an extended time at once. I want to use these tools for personal and professional gain, and as a future nurse practitioner, I want to use these methods to improve healthcare for my patients.